Howdy, howdy, howdy. This is Anashi Sasuke, and welcome back to Let's Read Homestuck. Well, I guess I'm the one reading Homestuck, and I do not speak of myself in the plural. In the last episode, two things happened. One, John took his lazy ass to sleep, and two, I realized I am so much further away from S-Enter than I thought I was. So, let's move on. Rose, check Alchemy Excursus. Looks like some sort of index documenting documenting all the known results for punch card alchemy combinations. Nice. This could be a convenient resource as you start to stumble on more useful card combinations. But ever since John started punching cards, you've been contemplating other ways this item manufacturing system could be put to use. In particular, if you obtain the code for any item at your disposal, you think you could theoretically send the code to John and he could make it himself. That is, if you can think of anything that would be worth sending to him. Capture log SBurb server CD. You eject the disk and capture log the server CD. Message John the capture code. Oh, god damn it. It looks like it does not have one. Meanwhile, the generator seems to be doing something. It's either running really, really hot or about to explode. There it goes. Facepalm ×2 combo. John, wake the fuck up. I mean, John, wake up. Okay then. For all the times I've been listening to the Homestuck soundtrack, I had no idea that that's what that track was. Okay. Hey! Whoa, there you are. How's your adventure going, John? It's okay, I'm making some progress. And Rose finally connected again, so she's helping me now. That's good. Oh, but like, I don't think I'm actually saving the world here. I don't know what I'm really accomplishing, but I guess it's not that. Well, I think whatever it is must be pretty important. Don't lose hope, John. I think it will all turn out for the best if you stay positive. Just keep listening to your grandmother's advice. Yeah, you're probably right, but, I don't think I mentioned Anna to you, did I? Oh, I don't know, didn't you? I don't know, maybe you talked to Rose or Dave about it or something. Yeah, maybe that was it. They're really weird when they talk to me about you, like, they're always trying to convince me you have some spooky powers. But I'm always like, no, she seems like a pretty regular girl to me. Hehehe. But then when I think back, maybe there are some times when it seems like you know some things? Like, maybe you know more about a thing than you're telling me? I don't know. Oh, well, John, I want to explain lots of things to you. Some things that I know, I'm just waiting. Waiting for what? Oh, John, I forgot I was messaging you about that meteor that fell near my house. Oh yeah, whatever happened with that? Oh boy, well, it turns out I was confused about it. Really confused. See, I guess I fell asleep for a while and lost track of time. That happens. Yeah, I know, tell me about it. Maybe you should, like, wear an alarm clock or something. So what was the deal with the meteor? Well, it's kinda hard to explain, but I know what it is now. And now I know everything's gonna be okay. So what is it? Or is this just another thing you're waiting to tell me? Oh gosh, John, I really want to tell you about all this stuff, but I can't yet. I really think you need to wake up first. Eh? Well, okay, not literally. Well, okay, maybe kinda literally. Ah! Stop being so confusing. LOL. Anyway, time for you to go, John. I think you have some company. Garten Gnostic Guga. Stop pestering ectobiologist Eb at question mark. Quickly grab the pogo hammer. As the imp hides. You stick the pogo hammer back into your Strife specimens, and get ready to kill some more of these pesky little... What's that? Dun dun. Dun dun. Swan! Tentacle therapist. TT ceased pestering ectobiologists. Rose, why aren't you dropping something on that thing? Oh no. John, be the imp. You be the imp and quickly abscond the fuck out of there. This is what weaker adversaries do whenever things get too hot to handle, which is frequently. John, prepare for a boss battle. You stop being the imp because that was stupid and scurry over to your magic chest that you suddenly remember was on the roof. There are some things in here that would be good to stock up on for a major battle, but it looks like someone has plundered your chest. This is so outrageous. Fucking imps. Foot. The tire swing is okay. You're being ambushed! There isn't much room to maneuver on this sloping roof. Maybe you should consider making your way to higher ground. John, ascend to highest point of the house. You go up there. Assuming you go up here. Look down. You peek over the edge. Oh god, there's more than one of them. Is this search frowning? Nah, it's smiling. The handcuffs are gone. It already seems like a long way down to your yard, not even to speak of whatever's below. Hey, weren't your trick handcuffs dangling from that branch earlier? Damn it, why the imps gotta be making off with all your sweet gear? Turn around. Crude ogre! You are confronted with a pair of enormous foes. This is it. You have no choice but to wage a fierce rooftop battle. This is totally going to happen now, and could in no way conceivably be interrupted by a sudden shift in our attention. It's go time. It's time to do this thing. We're doing it, man! We're making this happen. We're making this happen. Dave, stop being the other guy. You stop being the other guy. You're not even sure what that meant anyway. S. Dave, ascend to the highest point of the building. You know, I've never understood why it's S. Why is S Flash? Why? How come it couldn't be F? Shit, it's Jade time! Oh wait, double psych out combo! It's time for this dude! We know who he is, but right now he's just this dude. But it got me, I got psyched out. You are now the wayward vagabond. Woof, retreat. Got him already. Examine rotten pumpkin. What pumpkin? Ah, shit. Check the little red bar. What little... Oh. It appears to be a gauge for a large power cell, perhaps fueled by some type of nuclear reaction. If this is the case, it is relatively low on fuel, but who knows how long it's been running here. You do not care about this sort of nonsense, and you will disregard it at once. You're very hungry. Who the hell has cans of mustard? Capsulog can of gravy. Capsulog? You have no idea what that means. It's total nonsense and you do not know what to make of it. You will not give the foolish notion a second thought. Pick up the fucking gravy. You pick it up. You are now holding a can of gravy. Use sharp teeth to poke a hole in the lid of the can. My sister did that once. It was scary. Your teeth are useless for the task. They are blunt like that of livestock, presumably suitable for mashing up plant matter and not for puncturing metal. Dang. Attempt to open can with your weak, pathetic digits. Duke. Duke, Duke. Isn't Duke the things ferrets do? Your weak, pathetic digits are not strong enough to penetrate the can. Your fingers are certainly pointy enough, and your black carapace is suitably rigid. Wait. But you just don't have enough muscle for the task. Take the can labeled beans. Okay, you take that too. Your bean. Examine. Oh, it's custard. Okay. Who the fuck puts custard in a can? Okay, it does say mustard. How many times? I was smart, and then I wasn't, and then I was, and then I wasn't. The can clearly reads mustard, a fact of which you were perfectly well aware. It is sort of cumbersome holding all these cans at once. You doubt you could hold many more than this. Maybe one or two. You'll need to find something to put all this stuff in if you want to carry a lot of things around. Examine marking on your wrist. You drop all the cans and take a look at your wrist. It's a sort of specialized barcode pattern. This brings back unpleasant memories and you prefer not to dwell on it. Examine the small potted plant. What plant? Check book on human etiquette. It appears half the pages of this book have been eaten. The daunting volume is considerably lighter than it once was. You are somewhat skeptical about the nutritional value contained by these pages. However, of the practical wisdom they contain, there can be of little doubt. You have learned so much. Clear out all the cans inside the purple machine. You empty the peculiar cabinet and take a quick inventory of your canned goods. You got beans, mustard, gravy, bread, shrimp. Who the fuck? Why is shrimp in a can? And cheese? Rice, asparagus, corn, peas, flour, chestnuts, mayo, ham, potatoes, and squash. Such bountiful plenty, and yet the delights taunt you from within their small metal prisons. Seriously though, why is some of this shit in cans? Who puts flour in a can? What kind of place is this? Let's look for a can opener. You have already looked all over for a can opener, even making a few small electronic inquiries about one, to no avail. Nothing else inside this purple thing either. Locate a nearby sharp object. Locate a nearby sharp object. Okay. You wield your trusty knife. It's actually a, You're not sure what they're called? It's an old rusted one of those red mailbox arm swing flappy doodads. Either for letting you know there is a mail in the box, or maybe for alerting the mailman to outgoing mail to be collected. You don't know, really. You've wrapped a little piece of cloth around it for the grip. It's useless for opening cans. Woof, be the imp. This means nothing to you. You are not an imp, you have no idea what an imp is, and you will not entertain such frivolous and childish ideas ever again. You feel stupid and hate yourself a little for even considering it. Become the mayor of Can Town. As the glorious founder and mayor of Can Town, you erect a dignified, majestic city hall out of cans, fittingly capped off with a tome of good manners for the roof. You have given yourself a very official and important-looking mayoral sash of old cables to complete your look of authority. A number of rather civic-minded citizen cans gather in front of the building to offer adulation to their fair and magnanimous leader. All is well. For all we know, that's how his laugh sounds. You immerse yourself in this beautiful dream as you whittle away the minutes, or perhaps hours. You love the idea of being a mayor, you love everything about mayors, and the concept of an orderly civil democracy. It all seems so mannerly and reasonable to you. Everyone is friendly and happy, and the city runs like clockwork. The foundation of the government is based on mutual respect between the leader and its people. It is also built on having a really great mayor that everyone loves who is totally amazing, heroic, and brave, and I am not going to make political jokes just now. Mayors are so much better than kings. You hate kings and you think kings are really stupid. They are petty, bossy tyrants and you are really full of themselves and are basically awful in every way. God, do you hate kings. Explore west of Cantown. In West Philadelphia, over here is the other side of the room. There is another one of those purple storage boxes and some useless objects scattered on the floor. Use the glowing green rock to open the cans. You pick up the nugget of uranium and... Oh, that was so stupid. Why would you do that? Why did you do that? It's chalk, numbnuts. Crayola chalk, non-toxic. Unlike the uranium. Inside the box there are 12 pieces of chalk in every color of the 10 pieces of chalk and most colors of the rainbow. You are excited by this. Try to open the storage box. It's locked! There must be some sort of release mechanism for this thing. Examine contents of yellow container. The container is full of oil! This does not seem useful to you right now. Rescue that poor lightning bug. Rescue that poor lightning bug. There is nothing you can do for this new little friend. Attempting to crush the amber encasing the firefly would likely cause it harm. It nevertheless bravely flashes on. You find its light alluring, inspiring. To you, it seems as if it could quite easily serve as the light of democracy. Democracy is non-negotiable. Use the chalk to draw some roads. You sketch a handsome network of sprawling thoroughfares for your thoroughfares for your citizens to traverse. The adoring population applauds its mayor's keen instincts for city planning. You even add some lush vegetation to your city with a piece of blue chalk because you can't seem to find a more suitable color for some reason. Lay a chalk foundation for Cantown's civic growth. You develop westward, settling those fertile plains and claiming them for your city. You section off a number of residential and commercial zones for civic growth, arranged in the only logical pattern that occurs to you. Chess. You color the residential zones with your piece of white chalk, but for some reason none of the colors in the box strike you as suitable for the commercial zones. Perhaps there is an alternative. Use your own P for the commercial zones. You cannot urinate because you have not had anything to drink in quite some time, thank God. You are very thirsty. And also, that is a really terrible idea and you would not consider befouling your wonderful city in that way for even a moment. Use motor oil to designate commercial zones. You fill in each empty square with a bit of motor oil to complete the zoning. It looks rather striking to you. You can hardly imagine that an up-and-coming young Ken trying to make it in the world would not be delighted to live in your fair district. You are very careful not to get any of the unpleasant fluid on your person. Peel label from can of mayo and affix it to your sash. Survey surroundings in search of more terrain for city. Can Parkway. Almost better than the Garden State Parkway. It seems you have run out of territory for your western expansion, but there is still a lot of empty wall space. Perhaps your citizens would be happier with a colorful backdrop that would make them feel more at home. Maybe. Using most of your imagination, an entire piece of sky blue chalk, you render a bright and cheerful sky full of clouds. You have decided that very closely orbiting your city is a luminous planet, about which orbits a single moon. You switch to another shade of blue and continue a rendering on the western wall. Orbiting much further from your city, there are 4 planets. None of these have satellites, you have decided. Yes, that makes sense, you think. The hell is this one supposed to be? It's awesome. I know what they are. We all know what they are. We didn't before, but now we do. Hey look, it's John. Right, that's what that was. And on the southern wall, beyond an impenetrable veil of darkness, occupying the furthest orbit yet, there is an ominous planet. A moon circles this one too. Check that rampaging boy on the screen. Oh yeah, it's that guy! You had almost forgotten about him and his confusing shenanigans. It seems like he has things well in hand at the moment. He does not appear to need your help, and you have already concluded that he cannot help you. At least for the time being. Turn on the other 3 screens. Now he's unconscious. You have no idea how to turn these on. There's no mouse for this weird quadrant-monitored computer. It can only be operated through text commands from its keyboard. Perhaps there's a special key or command which will allow you to switch to another monitor. Press Tab. Oh yeah, Tab soda tastes so bad. Oh my god, I tried Tab soda because of this comic, and it's so, oh Jesus, don't drink Tab soda, man, just don't. Coca-Cola, don't get mad at me, but this soda is so bad. It's so bad, Coca-Cola, it's so bad. Consume several cans. Mayor, no! You free the heavenly brown elixir from the jewels of pink carapace and imbibe like the wind. It is so sweet and sugary you wonder how so much sugar can fit in one can. Whatever mighty wizard concocted this potion is truly deserving of your fear and respect. Mostly fear. Welcome the rest into the city. The Tabs are naturalized as a loyal new citizen of Can Town. All cans are welcome and equal in your city, regardless of can content and whether empty or full. It's not like emptying a can kills it or anything. They are just cans after all. Hit Escape. Feeling refreshed and heavily caffeinated, you go back to work on the big computer. You hit Escape, which seems to minimize the action window thingy and reveals a history of all the commands you've entered. That's not what Escape does. You use the arrow key to scroll up a bit. You can't believe how much you've already typed into this stupid contraption. What a waste of time. For some reason I thought I could click these. I am stupid. You scroll all the way up to your first command. It looks like there are more commands above it. Maybe someone was entering commands on this thing before you? There aren't many more. At the top of the list appears to be the very first command. Type arrow switch 2. You activate screen 2. The signal is garbled and you have no idea what you're looking at. Some sort of filthy beggar pleading for help? No one's around and nothing's happening. You seem to be locked out of any sort of interaction with whatever's happening on this monitor. Switch 3. It's another one of those rapscallions. This monitor is locked too. You can't tell them what to do, not that you really want to, since it looks like more confusing nonsense to you. You can switch it, Swiggity swooty, I can't talk for shit. You consider switching to screen 4, but decide against it. You have a feeling that whatever's there will just confuse you even more, and you don't even really care all that much anyway. Type Home. All 4 screens activate. Together they display a countdown starting at 4 hours and 13 minutes. Type Reboot! You can't! Nothing is working anymore. The timer seems to have disabled the keyboard. Be the mayor. Enough of this nonsense. You are an important mayor and this absurd contraption has wasted enough of your time. You've got a city to govern with a carapaced fist. Which is to say firm, yet polished and supple as the situation demands. Anyway, this will help you kill some time while you wait for that clock to count down. Create employment opportunities for the citizen cans. You temporarily dismantle City Hall to free up all the can power available to create a vigilant town militia. You divide them into 2 groups, marking them with distinct teams and ranks using the pieces of white chalk and motor oil. You then organize them in phalanx, I've never known how to say this. It's supposed to be flanks, but it's probably pronounced phalanx. I've never really had to say it. Across the countryside, preparing for a stiff training regimen. When you are through with them, your forces will be a well-oiled machine. Chalk up another one to bold leadership. As with lead your men to victory. You waste more than 4 hours on this tomfoolery. Mourn the loss of Citizen Tab. Your caffeinated jittering must have agitated all the little bubbles curiously hidden in the liquid, creating too much pressure in the can. You speculate this is why it exploded as you nervously eye the timer. You're starting to wonder what will happen when it reaches 0. Maybe it would be best not to be near it when this happens. Minutes in the future! Though perhaps not as few as implied by circumstance, a peregrine mendicant trundles precious cargo beneath the gleam of the celestially ominous. See what the fuck that means. It's the mail woman! Woo! Go outside and get some sun. You say a bittersweet goodbye to your beloved city. It is time to move on to greener pastures, by which of course you mean an arid, sandy wasteland upon which nothing green has grown in years! The door shuts behind you. A panel on the door becomes illuminated. As you ponder over the marks on the panel, you will hear another mechanical sound overhead. Oh. One. The LCD panel appears to have a touchscreen interface. Curiously prod the funny-looking spirograph. Beep, beep. Locked. It appears the funny-looking spirograph room is locked! The floor rotates a full 360 degrees beneath you while the surrounding wall seems to stay put. Select the triangly fractal. The triangly fractal room does not appear to be locked. The floor turns 120 degrees and the door opens. And open! You go through the door to find another room. It's the same size as the one you just wasted all that time in, while a clock was ticking down to something which may or may not be your doom. Maybe there is something in here that will help you escape. Against the wall is another perplexing contraption. That's the Earth. And that's another thing that finally makes sense. Against the opposite wall is some sort of control panel which catches your eye. It has 2 large screens, but only one of them appears to be active. There are fields for numbers which appear to be modifiable, with the dials to the right. Some numbers are already supplied by default, perhaps entered by the previous user. There are a few buttons below, the largest one bearing a symbol marking this room. It also looks like there is a meter stick propped up there for some reason. Attach your trusty knife to the meter stick. You immediately craft a measuring spear through possibly the most advanced form of alchemy employed thus far. This is obviously the most important thing to do first. Obviously. Or it would obviously be the most important thing to do if you had remembered to bring your trusty knife. You feel oh so insecure without your trusty knife, it makes you want to slit your wrist, or at the very least flog your carapace with some sort of measuring apparatus. Where did he put that into play? Look at the other wall! You examine the perplexing contraption across the room. You of course have no idea what it could possibly do. You adopt the only obvious course of action, which is to poke and prod it with your handy ruler. You are quite sure this is what science is all about. Press the triangle pattern. You go back to the control panel, which is probably obviously controls that gizmo, and you push the big blue button, which is obviously probably the most obvious thing to push. You appearify a pumpkin. Examine the pumpkin. If it says what pumpkin, okay. It seems this mysterious gourd was transported, appearified, from a specific time and location somewhere on this planet you are on. You wonder if the machine, a purifier, will take any object that exists at whatever time and location you supply. There's a symbol carved on the pumpkin. You don't know what it means, and you doubt it will ever prove to be relevant in any way. Devour the pumpkin. Nibble, nibble, nibble. You consider dining on the ripe flesh of the plump vegetable, but your curiosity about the purifier gets the better of you. You try to sneak a nibble from the pumpkin nonetheless. You first examine the attractive green buttons. The icon for the one on the left is that of the house shape you've seen plenty of times before. The right one on closer inspection appears to be the map for this underground facility with an X marking its center. Press the green button on the right. You push the button. All of the numbers change. Perhaps these are the coordinates for the location of the center of this facility, along with the local date and time? If this is the case, it would make a useful reference point for your current bearings. Fiddle with the dials. One way to find out would be to attempt to appearify something from this facility. It should be easy to zero in on a location relative to the center, because you have an uncanny knack for tracking precise distances you have already traversed in whatever units you choose. Your handy ruler gives you a good clue as to the basic unit of human measurement. You'll go with that. Appearify your trusty knife. Holy shit. You nudge the coordinates very slightly and bump up the elevation by 0.5 human measurement units. You make sure to keep the time approximately what it was to begin with. You appearify your trusty knife. Appearify can town. You nudge the numbers a bit more and appearify a bunch of cans. This is so much more efficient than walking back to the other room to get them. You are to believe that that time is at a premium after all. Disappearify the pumpkin. Does this machine look like a disappearifier to you? Honestly, the idea that an appearifier could both appearify and deappearify things is so laughably ridiculous. You wish someone would deappearify your brain and reappearify it with a brain that is more smart and less dumb. Use trusty knife to carve spook schema in pumpkin. What the hell are you talking about? The idea makes no sense at all and it is basically meaningless. Try using that mushy stuff in your gourd next time. Instead, you just carve off the top, exposing a decadent cache of gorgeous seed-laden ambrosia. Needless to say, you consume all of it rather quickly, but it turns out to be too gross for us to watch. Thank you. Move spirograph switch. Move the spirograph switch. Okay. You cannot move it. It has a spirograph-shaped indentation and possibly will require a special kind of key to turn it. Appearify Firefly out of the amber. What? Alright. You release your blinky new friend. You will give her a name when something suitably whimsical occurs to you. Adjust time dial to appearify Rotten Pumpkin. The past. You and Serenity consider new ways to waste more time with the Appearifier. You're assuming she is a girl firefly, even though you're not really sure that fireflies can even be girls. You target the extremely tasty rotten pumpkin that was sitting in the other room hours ago. It seems the Appearifier cannot appearify something if it will create a time paradox. A gelatinous ghost pumpkin appearifies and quickly dissolves into a pile of unappetizing sludge. Appearify the grate over the entrance to the facility. Serenity blinks a message of urgency. You nearly forgot that while trapped in amber, she was witness to all of your tomfoolery and dilly-dallying in the other room, and knows the timer is about to expire. It is time to get this show on the road and escape! You reset the coordinates with the right green button again, and this time only adjust the elevation by approximately 10 human measurement units. Thud. Woof. Hasten to the exit post haste. Whoop. Psych? Oh wait. Unpsych. You attempt the rare and highly dangerous 5 times cliffhanger combo and fail. We're doing it, man. We are making this happen. Ascend! I forgot how much shit happens in that flash, and this is probably a good stopping point. So I'm going to go to the next page and then save. Oh, alright. That is definitely a good stopping point. Okay, so save the game. Because if I forget to save, after 38 minutes of reading shit all up and down like a wafery dumbass, I'm going to be mad at myself. So, that has been something. I don't remember how this comic constructed itself before Act 6 happened. So, this is the end of Act 2. I'm not sure if that was an intermission or what. I don't know what this is about to be. But, this has been Let's Read Homestuck. I don't know when episode 11 is going to happen or how long it's going to be. But this has been episode 10, and it is over now. Thank you for sticking around.